Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the One Piece Virgin podcast, continuing the journey / restarting the journey with the VTuber from Mythos Poseidon. What's up?
Hello, I'm excited to talk today.
Same.
You guys
We got
about One Piece.
hell yeah, we got the expert Teching 101 with us here today.
Hello there. This is going to be tough for me because of spoilers. So
No
I'm just gonna
spoilers,
have to-
Teching.
No
No
spoilers. All right.
spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Also, fun fact: what crazy coincidence? You were here for the Orangetown Syrup Village episode
Did
with
you go back and
Animac.
check?
I went
Yeah.
back and checked, and
Yep,
you're like,
yep.
you said you remembered being on one. I'm like, what are the odds I invite him for the same episode?
Thought I was. Yep.
Life is just a
Okay,
fucking
great. So
repeat.
that we get to bash the cat pirates
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
together yet again.
So
and-
it's 6 years when you're doing this again for a third time. I'll be on again for Orangetown if you want me to.
Orangetown Syrup Village. This is your time slot.
This is my time slot. Yep.
Also, guys, we got Animac for Anime Uproar.
From Briggs. It's from Briggs.
You've said it more times than me, dude. You've said it more times than me.
Animac from Anime. I'm not even, guys. I'm glad to be here. Let's talk about Syrup Village and Orange Town, and let's make some magic happen.
Let's make some magic
we can
happen.
do that. We can make some magic.
Let's start very generic, like we usually do. Poseidon, how are your general thoughts, overall experience? You still enjoying One Piece?
Yes, I am. However, I am starting to see what you guys were talking about with the pacing.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to see it. Is it Syrup Town?
Syrup Village?
Syrup
Village,
Syrup
yes.
Village.
Yeah. I started to see what you guys were talking about once I started getting to like the last like 4 or 5 episodes of that arc, where the fights I feel like in real time were happening in maybe like 30 to 45 minutes, but then it was getting really slow.
Yeah.
Where it would like cut to someone's face for like 10 seconds and then it'll cut to somebody else's face for 10 seconds. And it'll be slow-mo, and I'm like,
the
oh my
pacing
gosh.
in that, like, I don't go back and watch Syrup Village that often, or when I do, it's the beginning of the arc, because, yeah, the final battle of that with Kuro and then the Nyaban brothers and everything, and Django's there and everything, it really does feel, like, a little sloggy in the anime.
Oh, 100%. And there was like a point where I was like, I need to watch this at 1.5 speed.
Let's go!
It's getting a little slow.
I almost feel like with everything that happens, you could probably just make that a 2-part episode and probably call it a day. You know?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
everything
Well,
involved.
this is
Yeah.
why I am a gigantic fan of One Piece. I mentioned it last week, and everyone in the comment section was like, no, One Piece sucks, One Piece sucks, One Piece sucks. I'm telling you, chat, and people in the comments, everyone's welcome to do what they want, watch what they want. But there's a reason why, like, most people prefer the manga, and then One Piece literally just makes it like the manga. The pacing is so much...
Yep.
It's so much faster, but people are like, oh, it loses the mood. It loses the ambiance because it's cutting a little bit more. It's a little bit quicker.
I'll tell you what, if you really worry about the ambiance and everything getting cut, then wait for the Wit Studio adaptation, because that'll probably just be straight from the manga. So there you go.
Yeah. So I did see some comments saying that One Piece is good on a rewatch, but it's not good for your first experience.
I could see that. Yeah.
But as a manga reader, I'm more with Briggs on the One Piece thing. Like, I have seen some episodes and some moments in the anime that I also read in the manga first, and they're always dragged out.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
I
always
just think
dragged out.
if it's gonna end up with Poseidon watching at 1.5 times speed, the ambiance is gonna be slightly lost anyway. At that point, One Piece might be the move. Maybe not right away. Let her continue to join this version for a bit. But trust me, once you like get past the East Blue, it just gets slowly worse and worse and worse. Once you get to the
It gets worse.
Once you get past the time skip, well, because what happens is slowly they get closer and closer to the manga. So basically, every fight scene, every conversation, every pan to someone's face or to the sky, they just keep on extending it. And One Piece is an amazing story that me, Tekking, and Animac are in love with, but that's one of its major faults.
Yeah, the anime is, for that reason. But, I always say when it comes to One Piece, like, if the first 100 chapters or so is not, like, if you're not feeling it by then that's probably a good place to just stop. But
you know what's pretty cool, though? If she's liking it so far as of Orangetown and Syrup Village, I will say this is the weakest part of One Piece for me.
It builds. I mean,
it gets
that's
better
the point of the story.
and better
and
better.
Yeah, so especially if you're starting out and watching the anime and like the pace of Syrup Village and Orange Town and stuff, it might be like one of those things where if you don't feel committed yet, you just kind of drop it because you're like, it's slow, it's not that good. So that is the challenge because like I think the stakes keep getting raised and the story keeps getting better as you go, so that even when it's slower, you're kind of like, okay, I'll stick with it because I'm really, invested. But in these early stages when you're not that invested and it's not that epic necessarily as it does get later, that's I think where most people will probably drop it because of that.
I can see that happening.
But yeah, it gets better and better, so it's less likely to be dropped once you get to some of these future arcs, which I'm excited to hear your reaction to. Quick question, is Zoro still your favorite character?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I still love him very much. There was a particular part from, I can't remember which episode it was, but it was during the fight between the pirates and then Luffy, Usopp, and his crew, where I think for a little bit there was a part where Zoro was not even part of the fight, and he was like so mad at Luffy because I think he was on the ground like, I'm gonna kill you once I'm up. And I love how like he's a really big idiot, but he's also like really strong.
A funny thing about Zoro in the early arcs is they always have to figure out a way to handicap him. So he's not like in this one, he's like trying to get up the cliff, I remember, and he kept like slipping on the oil that Usopp was laying out. And it's just like, yeah, unless we nerf Zoro, he's going to be too powerful.
Yeah, because he's the pirate hunter. All the pirates fear him.
Yeah.
If he was part of the fight, it would be over in like one episode.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
You can't have Luffy and Zoro both there fighting the main guy. No. So they always have to create like a side distraction for Zoro to fight, or some type of injury or something to nerf him to make the fight a little bit more even, since like he'd be fighting like the second or third in command or something. And you see it, I think, in Orange Town. He gets stabbed by Buggy. And
early on,
he just
him
constantly gets injured and injured and injured in every.
Yeah, because at that point they're not aware of Buggy's powers, right? So he tricks them.
Yeah. So Zoro thinks like, I'm just gonna hack him up and then that'll call it a day. And then Buggy stabs him, and then he's like, I need to sleep this off for a few hours. You guys fight without me.
Teching. I have a question for you actually, because so for Poseidon, Zoro is her favorite at this point. For me, it was Zoro as well. For Animac, he was liking Nami a lot. How about you? At this point in the story, do you remember who your favorite was?
So I remember watching the 4Kids dub of this, and I remember Sanji was my favorite, but we're not up to Sanji yet. So I would probably say at this point, I actually probably would just go with Luffy. At this phase of the story. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm a hard Nami stan at this point. Like, by the way, I can't believe you said Poseidon that Zoro is best boy when Buggy's right there. But anyway,
Animac, you've come so far. You were literally pulling at us. At this point in the story, Poseidon, Animac was like, Buggy's just a throwaway villain.
Yeah, no, it's true. Buggy's like very cringe at that point. He's kind of like a comedic relief villain.
He's come around.
No, but I do think that Nami at this point, like, her introduction is hilarious. She robs the pirates and tricks them. Then she calls Luffy her boss to get them off her back, and after him, she steals the map of the Grand Line. And I really like her personality, and I also like that she's so practical, right? Like she's not over the top. She's not silly and stupid and doesn't take stupid risks. She joins forces with the guys because they have a common goal at the time, but she doesn't think of herself as a pirate. She doesn't like pirates because obviously pirates have a bad reputation. She does her own thing sort of, and she's very like calculating and smart and practical, and I really related to that. Yeah, I really related to that there much more than Luffy and Zoro, because to me they were hard to relate to because they just they're so over the top and they just do such dangerous, insane things. Which is kind of the point of their character, but like me, I'm always, I like to think of myself as more, what's that word, Briggs?
Practical?
Machiavellian.
Machiavellian's a fun word.
Yeah, so to me, like, Nami at this point was really speaking to me, and I think if Nami got more focused later on, I think I would still, she would still be my favorite. It's just that obviously later on, there's,
I don't know what
other important things happening where Nami's not always involved, but I do think that Nami at this point is most relatable and most interesting to me. but obviously not the strongest physically, and she's not going to be the main fighter in battles. But I love her. Yeah.
All right, let's
She
start
has the
off with
brains.
Orange. Sorry, what would you say?
I was about to say like she has like the brains over the bronze, which I
Yes.
think is
Oh, yeah, that's
also
the idea.
really, really.
No, I'd like to think I have both, but I still relate to her more.
a very initial concept for the crew. It's like you got the strong guys, and then you have Usopp, who's sort of at the beginning is the comic relief, and then I mean still is, but then you have Nami, who's like, no, she's the brains of the operation. If they didn't find Nami early on, they would have been probably screwed.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
and
100%.
At least Luffy's smart enough to know that he needs a navigator.
Yes,
Right.
that's a big thing about
and a
his character, is
musician. And a musician.
He knows, yes, and a musician, but he knows he's like, I mean, he doesn't say he's stupid, but he's like, I don't know how to do these things. I need to find people that can.
Yeah. I respect it. Anyway, Poseidon, you got introduced to a new character, Usopp. How do you feel?
I honestly, God, Syrup Village, I cried a lot at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually felt the tears, and I was like, oh no. At first I was like, just to give context to Tekken here, I did watch the live action a year prior to starting One Piece. So I had a small, I don't want to say like a big idea, so like a little small idea of like who the characters are, like via their live action counterparts. I really enjoyed Usopp in the live action.
Yeah.
So, from the start, I really liked him from the start. But in the anime, I don't know, he came off a little bit to me as, like, annoying. But as the arc went on and you start to see that, he lies a lot, but it's also his way of coping with, loss and his family. And he uses it to kind of, make Kaya feel better about, being bedridden all day, because she doesn't get much to do, right? So he goes over there to entertain her, to keep her happy and keep her,
her
positive
spirits up and all that. Yeah.
I started to love him even more, and I would even argue by the end of this arc, Usopp probably came second place for me as like favorite character.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
There you go.
I really enjoyed him by the end. I was actually really surprised because at the beginning I was like, oh my god, he's like kind of annoying.
he's supposed to be, the comedic relief here, but he's also supposed to be like the everyman. Like Zoro and Luffy have like larger than life personalities. Nami's very practical, and then Usopp's just supposed to be like a dude that like they run into, and it's just like, oh yeah, okay. But he has a good heart, and yeah, he could be a little annoying here, but
that is one nice
he's
thing
a good character.
about One Piece. You do get a big variety of type of characters that join the crew / on the crew that are like, you get to see different perspectives. Like they go on this over the top journey that's super dangerous, and you have someone trying to become the strongest swordsman, but he's like crazy strong. Luffy's already crazy strong, and then you have someone who's like a normal girl, but she's like smart and strategic, and she's a navigator. That's how she provides value.
Yep.
And she has a goal as well that we'll eventually get into. But then you have Usopp, who's genuinely just like a normal dude, but then like is thrown into these situations and has to figure out a way to like become the brave warrior he wants to be, and it's just like so much more relatable, and he adds the comedic relief. So I think it's good that not everyone's just like a beast, or just not everyone.
Yeah, he wants to be like, I want to be like my dad, I want to go out to sea, I want to be a great pirate, but then it's like he's actually doing that, and he's like, oh, this is like really dangerous, but this is what I wanted to do. So this is what we're doing.
Yeah, like imagine just being you or just being me, and then like you're fighting against fucking Monkey D. Luffy stretching his arms, or a dude with 3 swords. Like,
not even like Luffy or Zoro level. Just imagine being like the way you are now, and like a group of bandits attack your town or your house or something, and
true.
it's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna try to fight back, but like what?
Guess I'm dead.
Yeah, and I think I get where Poseidon is coming from, because there are differences between the live action and the anime. I did think obviously I read the manga, but I did think in the manga early on Usopp was annoying. He's like the boy who cried wolf, right?
That's his whole character. At the
and I'm just like, bro, you're screwing yourself by doing this. It was frustrating, but it's part of like the charm and the introduction. There were differences in the Netflix adaptation where him and Kaya kiss in the Netflix one.
Yeah, they just made it like, and it's super obvious in the anime and the manga that there's a spark there. And at the end of the live action, they're just like, just have them kiss.
Yeah, and I like
each other.
I like that because it kind of it's like stop beating around the bush. I liked that aspect of the One Piece of the live action, and then also Mary's fate is different in the live action versus the anime, which is what I was getting at in the pre-podcast discussion.
Since we have Tekken here, is Mary human? Or is like he a mink?
So, you know what? I mean, for a long time, we just assumed that he just had that interesting hairstyle and horns and stuff. But now, he might be half mink or a quarter mink. Who knows?
He has a human-looking face. Like, I just don't know. I know we kind of just spoiled a little bit for Poseidon. I'm so sorry, but you could tell that.
Shit,
like,
that's right. Damn it.
No, but I did ask because like I always just assumed like once you get to see like later on in the series and as you watch, I'm just like. I assumed he wasn't human.
If you could, I mean, like,
we don't know. We don't
I definitely
really
could
know.
be the case now retroactively. I don't think that'd be a problem. One thing also they changed in the live action that I really like though is they show it that like Syrup Village has like a shipbuilding yard, and Usopp like works there as like the guy that scrapes the barnacles off the ships or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense for when the Mary when Mary introduces the Going Merry, like, did Mary build this thing by himself? Like, where did he do that? And it's like, okay, this makes more sense to me. Yeah.
Poseidon, I think we should start off with Orange Town, though. We kind of just glossed over it. I remember
we kind of went all over the place.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
One Piece, we just get excited. So
well, when I'm here, that usually happens. Yeah.
Starting off with Orange Town, I remember you read or watched a little bit ahead last time, and you were talking about how Shoo Shoo the dog was making you cry, and those moments were so great. Do you have any thoughts and things you want to talk about for Orange Town?
So, again, I'm gonna go back with like the live action just a little bit.
Yep.
I feel like if I didn't watch the live action at this point in the series with like Buggy and everything, I think I would have had like a similar thought of like, okay, Buggy's just like a throwaway villain. He's probably just there to be here for a few episodes. Like he's just a goofy guy who I will not take seriously. But you know, because I know what goes on in live action, I'm like, okay, no, Buggy's gonna probably be very, very important going forward. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. I kind of even almost wish there was more to Orange Town than just like one fight and like a little bit of interaction. Because I wanted to see more of Buggy and his crew, because I think they're really silly. But I'm assuming going forward, there is going to be like a big Buggy storyline going on.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
don't know. But I really enjoyed Orange Town. I think it was cool it showcased a lot of Nami, because I think at this point,
that's like her introduction, right?
Much
in the manga,
Nami.
it is. She shows up earlier in the anime.
Yeah, in the anime, you get to see her a
really?
little bit, right? In the manga, Orange Town's actually like her introduction.
In the anime, she's in the first episode in the anime.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
But you get to learn who she is and like talk to her and like whatever.
It's
in
a pretty
Orange
quick,
Town.
introduction to Nami. Yeah.
You can see how like clever she is. She kind of manipulates the crew a little bit, and I feel like that was when Luffy kind of got to see what her skill set is, and is like, I need her on this crew. But at this point, she's like, no, I hate pirates. Pirates like destroyed my family. I don't want to be part of a crew. But I guess I may tag along with you because I don't have a choice right now.
Yeah, and
Like,
you also get the
honestly-
impression she's done this before just to manipulate pirates out of gold, and then she skips out. I mean, that's her whole thing. Yeah.
If you were to put roles in this early stuff with us, not Poseidon, because Poseidon you're new.
Yeah.
You're the new guy, so but clearly Luffy would be teching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoro would be Briggs.
Okay.
Usopp would be Nux, and I would be Nami, except Nami's hotter.
There you
but-
go. Except Nami's, I don't know if you have the boobs for it, but like, okay.
I don't know, man.
Maybe at this point.
I think I navigate this conversation pretty well.
Oh, please, Briggs.
So are you saying you should be Nami?
I think I should be Nami.
Okay.
We all just want to be an orange-haired girl.
So Mac is Zoro now.
I wish.
No, Mac is Kuro.
Mac is-
Oh. Wait, I can
wish-
kind of see that actually. Wait.
Yeah. I'm just saying, out of a cosplay contest, if we're all cosplaying Kuro, I'm gonna say Animac has the best option of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could cosplay the live action Kuro.
Oh yeah, dude, the live action Kuro. I forget the name of his actor, but he did an amazing job. At
Yes,
that.
so
Oh my
that's
God,
something I was gonna
yes.
say. I feel like the Kuro rep in my mind grew because of the live action.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
probably.
Because I thought, yeah, the Kuro from like the manga, I was like, this guy's so meh. But then the live action guy did kind of kill it, and then he also literally killed it, like with the one scene. So I thought he was more badass.
My favorite thing about Kuro overall, though, is it's so obvious he's evil, and like Usopp, and even like it's like I know you're evil, but like, we can't really just fight you right away, you know?
Yeah, I'd say it's more obvious in the live action.
Oh,
even
live
than
action, it's very obviously he's evil, but like even looking at him, it's just like the dude, the way he walks and the way it's like he has slick back hair. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, he looks like he's rich and fancy.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's evil.
He's just an Italian-looking butler, okay?
Nah, there's
Leave him
something
alone.
with the glasses.
Leave him
There's
alone.
Something with the glasses. Yeah.
I actually think, because I'm not a big fan of Syrup Village, the next arc, which is the arc that Poseidon's going to be watching for next time, is the one that actually gets me into One Piece at during my journey.
Oh, I see.
So at this point, like, I'm like, oh, it's a pretty good show. I kind of like it.
It is a pretty good arc that happens after Syrup Village. Of course, you're referring to the Island of Rare Animals with Gaimon.
Yes, of course.
It touches a lot of our souls.
Yes, that's the one I'm referring to. Yes.
Am I gonna cry a lot in this one?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh.
When you-
Oh,
yeah.
no!
Oh, yeah.
The actual.
Was Gaimon in the anime?
He is.
Yes.
They do,
Okay.
but they move it around. In the manga, it's between Orangetown and Syrup Village. Like Usopp's not there in the manga. In the anime, it's after Syrup Village.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Poseidon,
Because I know from the manga how it is, but I didn't
Yeah.
know how it was.
We're trolling. It's not the Gaimon, whatever he's talking about. The next arc that I'm gonna give you the episodes for, I think will make you cry.
Aww.
It's pretty good.
But you already cried to Syrup Village and Shushu
I
in
did.
Orangetown, so.
Yeah.
Shushu's story is so sad because it's just Hachiko, and I remember crying at that movie, Hachiko.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
I didn't realize that. It is just Hachiko.
It's Hachiko. Well, that's a very popular like story in Japan. Like,
And
the story
Hachiko's a
of
Japanese
Hachiko.
dog, right?
Yeah, he's a Shiba
Yeah.
Inu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the one where he's like waiting at the train station.
He waits at the
correct?
Shibuya station, and there's a statue of him, and he waits like 7 or 8 years, and his master never comes home. It's very
So
sad.
there is something I want to point out for Poseidon since it's her first watch, and I'm sure she's picked up on some of it, but it's just like I think going forward it'll give her some perspective to think about for future arcs and future watches. So it's not as noticeable right away, but every arc is slightly connected here, where it's like you meet Axe Hand Morgan, he got his position and promotion
Yes.
by capturing and executing Kuro, which connects it to the Syrup Village arc, right? Then you have Luffy's backstory with Shanks meeting Buggy. Buggy references like Shanks, and you get the backstory that they know each other. You get to meet his crew, which is maybe whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but there's just little connections from arc to arc that I want, and like from character to character that I want you to pay attention.
They do a
to.
really good job of that in the in the live action in a way that I didn't think they would. Like, there's a scene where Morgans is like, "I defeated, Kuro of 1,000 plans," and it's like, oh, they actually reference that. There's even a little scar on Morgans' arm from where Kuro cut him, and I'm like, oh, that's a really neat little touch. I like that.
Yeah, so basically what Kuro did was he faked his own death because he was really, really committed to getting Kaya's parents' treasure.
No. That was even before that. Kuro's plan is fucking stupid. Like, it is like he's supposed to be a brilliant guy, but like he was tired of being a pirate. So he's like, I don't want to be a pirate anymore. I'm going to fake my death and I'm going to go and live a normal life. So he starts living a normal life and he's like, this is boring. I don't like this. I'm going to try to steal Kaya's money. Apparently he did not actually kill her parents. That was something in the live action that wasn't really referenced in the manga. Apparently they just died of natural causes. But I don't know, dude.
I thought his whole plan was to get the treasure.
No, his plan
It
was to kill Kaya and take the money, but I feel like the plan was convoluted and didn't really need to be. I feel like he could have just stolen Kaya's money and just skipped town. Like he probably.
But he
just
didn't
could
want
have
to be a
done that.
criminal. The whole thing is he wanted to do it legally.
He didn't want to be a pirate. He didn't want to live a normal life, and he didn't want to be a criminal. So
The whole thing was, I think, like after him escaping the life of a pirate, the parents did die naturally.
They did.
And then he came up with the plan to like legally, through will, get passed down all of the money from Kaya because he didn't want to return to the life of being a pirate or a criminal. He just wanted the money without
Dude,
that.
you
That was
know
the plan.
Kuro, if that plan would have worked and Kuro would have gotten the money, he probably would have like bought a mansion and then he would have been like bored with that after
you're
about
probably
another
right.
year. He would have probably come up with another like weird plan. Like he was just never happy.
I think I liked Orange Town and Syrup Village slightly more in the live action, which is crazy. Which I can't say about the next 2 arcs, but
You know, I think it works partially because, like, these arcs are not huge. So, like, all of Orange Town takes place in the circus tent in the live action, which is fine. And then all of Syrup Village is moved mainly to the mansion, which the mansion set in the live action was beautiful. So those, I think, worked perfect. Now, when the sets start getting really big and more elaborate because One Piece gets bigger and bigger, that's going to be interesting to see how season 2 is going to go.
Yeah, and
I think you can already see issues with Arlong Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arlong Park was probably the weakest set out of all of them. I like the idea that they actually changed them to like attractions, but I think they could have utilized them a little better.
It's just like rushing at the end of the day. I think rushing Orange Town. And
Yeah, it was
Syrup
definitely
Village,
rushed. And then also the changes with certain characters showing up that don't in the anime, but I won't be specific for Poseidon. So.
I don't really care about the changes too much. For me, it's just like it being very fast paced worked for Syrup Village and Orange Town. I think it enhanced it, but it just keeping that pace for longer arcs like Baratier and Arlong Park, I think it just didn't work as well. It was still good. It was still fine. It's just not as good as the anime or manga, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Poseidon's journey. We're getting sidetracked very easily.
Oh, no,
yes.
you're good. You're fine.
Go ahead. Any like
now
fights?
that we are
Go ahead.
talking about it, I think I did prefer Syrup Village a little more in the live action. I really like, we're talking about sets, right? Because if you think of it, like, if you watch back to the anime, it only really mainly takes place at like the shore.
Yeah.
So you didn't really get to see much scenery. You didn't really get to see much of the town. You didn't really get to see really much like at all
Of that mansion
it was a live
either.
action.
Meanwhile, you have a big mansion right here as a set
yeah.
piece. I'm like, that would have made more sense if it all took place in the mansion.
Yeah, and they like utilize like the different rooms, the empty rooms, because you know it's just Kaya living there with Mary and
Kuro, and that's it. Basically.
Kuro and the wine cellars and stuff like that. Like I really enjoyed. Like if I were to pick a favorite part of the live action, it would have been the Syrup Village part.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Easily. Like that was my favorite part. So going into the live action, I had a little bit of an expectation. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a little similar, right? It wasn't. So
you mean going into the anime? Going into the anime.
Going into the
anime. Sorry, my bad.
You're good.
It was like a slight disappointment. I didn't mind it, but I really did like that they did change that in the live action to be, I think, more interesting. You know? I don't know if that makes sense.
I think it applied even for Orange Town for me. Like I liked Orange Town probably the most in the live action. I think Buggy's character, while I already love him in the anime and manga, I actually really liked him in the live action, specifically for Orange Town.
Oh yeah.
The actor killed it.
Yeah, and I thought in the live action, Usopp is like he still has the same vibes of Usopp, but I think he's a little bit more badass than manga Usopp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
so. I did get that vibe, and I mean Zoro is pretty much the same level of badassery. Luffy's great. Nami's great too.
A lot of the live action stuff is like a lot of the comedy wouldn't work the same way in live action. Like if Usopp like freaks out the level that he does in the manga, which is funny, in live action it would just kind of come off as really like
cringe,
weird and off-putting. I think like if every single time something came in front of him, Usopp is like, ah! And then like runs away, you know, like, okay, we can't do that every single time with him, you know.
Poseidon, what is your favorite fight in the series so far?
Favorite fight? Oh, it would have to be. Okay, I'm torn between Luffy versus Buggy and then Luffy versus Kuro. I really liked Luffy versus Kuro because you kind of get to see Luffy at his like almost like mad, like the most angriest.
He's pissed in that fight. Yeah,
because you see Kuro killing off his crew like it's nothing, and that hurts Luffy because it's like, no, these are your friends. These are the people who got you here. Why are you killing them? So you see him get so angry, and you see Kuro doing his like little speed attack where you can't even see him. But because Luffy is locked in, ready to go, you see him at his most, like, powerful, which I thought was really cool. That was probably my favorite, even part of the Syrup Village arc, was that fight between Luffy and Kuro.
I agree. I feel like I'm not a huge fan of Syrup Village overall, but I think one thing that helped was the actual combat. Like towards the end, Curl versus Luffy looked cool because Curl's like he was like you could barely see him with his footwork. He goes into that mode, and then you have Luffy like losing his mind and like going full out. I think it was actually a pretty.
Yeah, it
cool
also
fight.
really showcases like Luffy has weaknesses. He's very susceptible to being hypnotized. He's a very straight-minded kind of individual.
It's true.
Yeah, and it's like almost like very different to the fight with Buggy. Because that one is a lot more humorous, like when
Luffy's not as mad. I mean, Luffy is mad because he ripped his hat, but like
when Luffy hits him in the nuts, like that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very different vibe, but it's still good. Like the humor is good in the Buggy fight, but it's a different vibe from the Kuro fight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. There was another thing I wanted to talk about with like Syrup Village. I honestly love the fight between I forgot the co-captain's name, but between him and the kids, Django. There we go. And the 3 kids.
Yeah, they weren't in the live action.
So funny.
The live action didn't have Onion, dude.
I was actually happy they made that change because like they're just like there, and it's like, all right, little kids, they're gonna like fight. All right, cool, great, awesome.
But it creates like cool moments as well because like you have the moment where like Usopp like lies to them so that like they don't join the fight because at the end of the day they're children, and Usopp's ready to stand up for the village and Kaya. So I like that.
I'll tell you what, it's a very nostalgic thing because like it brings you back to like when you were a little kid playing with your friends in like the neighborhood of like remember like, oh, we're pirates or we're medieval knights or whatever like that, and that's kind of the vibe there. But I think it's fine that they excluded them from the live action.
I think they would have worked better in anime versus live action, so it makes sense. I feel like in the live action it might have been a little bit irritating.
Especially since you're condensing everything to the mansion, not like running around the woods or anything like that and at the shore. So yeah, you got to kind of like get everybody together.
At the end of the day, they have to streamline it for sure. I do like little interactions with Usopp and those kids. And also I want to point out as well. So this is Poseidon's first time watching, but upon rewatch, there's little things that like I pick up that I really appreciate. Just noticing like Nami was there when Luffy references that like this is his treasure multiple times, referring to his hat, or even just like seeing Shanks and Buggy on the same ship and seeing some of the crewmates there. Yep. Like upon rewatch, it's really interesting, and the lore you pick up and stuff like that.
Oda, there's a lot of stuff in this story you could reference that like Oda had it planned from the very, very start, and it's very obvious. Other stuff maybe like came a little bit later, but yeah, he definitely had a plan for the long game on this one.
I can't wait for Poseidon to like read an arc like 500 episodes from now, and I'm gonna be like, remember that time in Orangetown? Remember that time in Syrup Village?
Remember that flashback that Buggy had in chapter 19 with that guy? There you go.
Or even there's a lot of like cool moments where it's like there was the flashback, like, or at least in the anime, Luffy has the flashback of Romance Dawn, right? Where he, you have the Shanks moment and all that stuff, and then he repeats those lines to Usopp. Even the small things like that are just so cool. And it almost go ahead.
Pay extra attention.
Yeah, it almost implies that like he told Zoro that story, like his backstory, because Zoro knew what he was talking about. What do you think, Tekking? Do you agree that you think Luffy told Zoro his backstory?
So that's a question that comes. I'm sure they all know, but like that's one thing about One Piece. I always wish that we got to see a little bit more interaction with the Straw Hats, like on the ships, just talking about like that was a crazy thing we just did,
behind the scenes stuff,
yeah, that'd be nice. But we can assume that when Usopp joined, they kind of brought him up to speed on we fought against this guy named Morgan, and then we went to Orangetown and fought this clown guy, and then it's just like everything gets brought up like that way.
Yeah, you almost assume that they're just chatting and talking it up during their travels because like guns aren't for threats, right? They're for actions. Like Luffy and Zoro kind of know that, right? Or later there's a scene in another arc.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense, right? It's not like they're just sleeping whenever they're not on screen. So
Yeah.
And sometimes there's skips in time.
I'm sure Usopp has a question or two, like, okay, how did you guys come together? Where did you all come from? What's your stories?
Sure. Sorry, Poseidon, you brought up the kids and Django. Also, Django in the live action?
No, he wasn't.
My goat, Michael Jackson.
That was an unfortunate loss. I feel like sad that Django wasn't there. Yeah.
Django's Michael Jackson. Usopp's Pinocchio.
Yep.
Like early One Piece, like with the references are not subtle at all.
It's fair. No, it isn't.
Are they actually based off of those?
Oh, Django is 100%.
Yeah.
He's based off of Michael Jackson.
And then
Really?
they gave the liar the long nose.
Yes.
See, I think I would have picked that one up easier.
The Pinocchio one is kind of on the nose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like now that I'm thinking about it, okay, the Django being Michael Jackson makes sense.
He has the outfit. He has the glove. He moonwalks around.
He moonwalks backwards. Yeah.
He's moving backwards.
Yeah, and this is from the 90s, so back then Michael Jackson was like so huge.
Before it was, yeah.
Going back to the kids, I felt really that was one of the parts where I was like getting really, really emotional during Syrup Village, was when the kids, Usopp was basically telling the kids, like, I'm leaving now, like, you guys are, you know, in charge or whatever. And it reminded me a lot of me when I was a child, because I did a lot of those, like, oh, I wouldn't say pirate, but like, oh, I'm a mermaid or something, and like,
Really?
going around and bringing all the neighborhood kids and playing around and stuff. So seeing those kids like kind of have that kind of youthfulness made me feel nostalgic for like my own life experiences, which is why I really enjoyed them in this arc. I can see why other people don't though, but I thought they were awesome, and they were also really smart too. They were able to outsmart Django.
Django might have just been really stupid. One of the two. But that's like, I think that's what Oda was going for, like the nostalgia factor, because like everybody has stories like that of like playing with their friends like on a summer's night back when you were like in the, you know, whenever you were growing up, and Oda was like, I'm gonna try to like encapsulate that with this character in Usopp.
I'm hoping, don't spoil if this is not, I really hope that we get to see those kids like in the future all grown up. I feel like that would be really, really cute.
Onion for Pirate King. I think he's gonna come back.
Onion's gonna sweep in and he's gonna become Pirate King, yeah.
The new spin-off series. Onion is now a pirate.
Next week we're covering, I guess I could say the arc. You already watched the live action. We're covering the Baratier arc. And there is a lot of differences, so I'm excited to hear your opinion on the Baratier arc. Actually, maybe not next week, or maybe we'll do the week after. We'll kind of let everyone know depending how many episodes it is, because I don't want to force too many episodes in a week on Poseidon.
Yeah, Baratier is, so the arcs are getting longer now, you know.
Let me look it up. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'll look it up really quick here. Baratier is 12 episodes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're gonna break it up into one episode just on Baratier, and then one episode just on Arlong Park, for the most part. If you're
they're comparable. They're about 12 and 14 for Arlong, so that's not bad.
That's not too bad at all.
Yeah, that's good because they're both important arcs.
Very important, yes.
Yeah, and these are the arcs
that keep that in mind then.
Yeah, and these are the arcs that got me into One Piece.
Oh yeah, Baratier was the one. That's my favorite Straw Hat at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, same.
But for Briggs, for next week though, do you want to do the latest chapters, or do you want to do this again, or you do every 2 weeks?
So what we could do is
2 weeks works best for me personally.
Sweet. So next week we'll do a normal One Piece version on the newest chapters. So that is the 1st of October, and then the 8th of October, if I'm looking at this correctly, would be the week with Poseidon, the One Piece version, covering Baratier. That work for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should. It should, because we have a few chapters now to talk about in the manga.
Cool.
And obviously a lot of stuff is happening in the latest chapters in the manga, so I'm looking forward to talking about that. And then Baratier is like a great little package to talk about in a episode as well. So
yes.
Reliving all of that fun times. Although I will say again, you know, I said this before when I first read this, I'm still pissed that Luffy didn't take the treasure. It's way too goody-goody.
In Orangetown? Didn't take the treasure in Orangetown. Yeah, he's just too nice of a guy, man. How do you feel about that,
Yeah.
Poseidon?
Because he's supposed to be a pirate. He's supposed to be funding his journey.
So I can tell you. Go ahead, Poseidon, and I'll bring something up.
I think at this point, right, Luffy isn't very interested in treasure. He's more interested in, let me just get a crew together and we're going to find the One Piece. So he's not the typical pirate where it's like treasure, 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 money, money, money. I think at this point he's more focused on getting a crew together and trying to figure out a way to find the One Piece. Right?
Again, this is why Nami's more relatable to me, because it's like
Yeah.
you need money to recruit and fund
Oh,
a
Luffy's
crew.
not smart enough to get that.
No.
Like,
He's
yeah.
tunnel visioning.
I mean, the
But,
whole reason he became a pirate is for like freedom, adventure, fun. He told Shanks he wants to become the Pirate King, right? Like it has nothing to do with like riches or being like his goals aren't evolved around money. But you're right, he doesn't need it.
This is probably because this is early One Piece. Is the dregs of this? Oda went through a lot of like concepts before actually starting proper One Piece. And in one of those proto chapters, there was the idea that there's two different kinds of pirates. There's the Peace Main pirates and the Morganeer pirates. This didn't end up getting into the actual story. That's not like terms that are used. But basically, it's like there's the pirates that murder and plunder and seek treasure. And then there's the pirates that are just there for the adventure of it all. And Luffy's definitely in that category.
Yeah, and
So-
there is some of that with Nami's perception of pirates.
Yeah.
Versus
Oda's basically trying to
Luffy
make
is.
it like there's good pirates and there's evil pirates. There you go.
But he had it more like in his plans. He had it more black and white, and this
Yeah,
time,
he had it like there's two different distinct types, and he decided just to go. No, pirates are pirates, but like there's different kinds.
There's different types of people in the world, right? I like that he didn't have to tell the audience and lets us like see the nuance ourselves.
Yeah, we can do that ourselves. We could tell what kind of pirate Buggy is, and we could tell what kind of pirate Luffy is, right? Yeah.
And Buggy's the better one.
Yeah, there clearly. Yeah.
So you're excited to see more Buggy in the future, Poseidon? I'm trying to think. Are there any
Yes,
predictions
Buggy.
you have? Anything that you're excited for?
That was my biggest prediction, was like there's no way that this is the last we're seeing of Buggy. Like I don't think he got to showcase all of his full strength and abilities. So I'm really looking forward to seeing potentially a big Luffy versus Buggy fight where both of their devil fruit powers are like at the max, and I really am excited because I really do like the concept of Buggy's devil fruit powers where he can detach himself and kind of go all over the place. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited to watch this next arc.
It's a funny thing because Luffy is strong. Like he has a devil fruit. He's he trained for years. He's strong, and yet he's also in these early stages lucky to be alive because he's so dumb sometimes.
There's a couple of times where he could have died, like straight up.
Like even though he's overpowered, he's also lucky just to be alive because he can be very careless and dumb sometimes. Like not stupid, but just careless. Because he's smart about how he fights and stuff. So again, he's not just like a idiot character, but he's just so reckless.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite funny moments right now, Poseidon? Anything that stands out? Like there's a lot of small humor in One Piece throughout the action and adventure.
Funny moments. I don't know if this is funny. It was more like, at the end of the Syrup Village arc, I thought it was funny when all the families that live there, all the villagers are like, "Where's Usopp? Why isn't he yelling about pirates are coming?
Why isn't he waking us up
Where
with
is
our...
he?"
Yeah.
And you see the little kid with his family in there. He's like, "Where's Usopp? Where's Usopp?" Like,
Some of the older
I want to hear
dads,
him yelling again.
the dads look forward to chasing him down the street.
I know,
They were getting
part
their
of their routine.
yeah,
Dude,
it's something
no
to
kidding.
do.
If I was living in Syrup Village and every single day Usopp woke us up yelling pirates and there were no pirates, the day that he is gone, I would actually legitimately think pirates are actually attacking today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
that was also one of the parts where I was laughing, but also feeling like shedding a tear because these villagers were so accustomed. It was almost like a comfort thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're gonna have to deal with him not being there and going on a huge journey. So I thought that was really like funny and also kind of sad.
One of my favorite gags is like this: the boys getting lost. If I remember correctly, I don't remember exactly what they're like, what they were saying. Was it like Zoro just like trying to run around the island or something? I can't remember. Or like, or someone was trying to go north because it's colder. Like that stupidity, I find so funny.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of like buggy stuff funny, like in the buggy fight, like the rubbing technique, beaten by a masseur. That was funny.
I like Kabaji with the lion. He was funny.
Also, when Buggy's men pretend to be unconscious, so
yeah,
they don't have to fight. I thought that was funny.
Like, I'm not dealing with this.
That was
yeah, a lot of Buggy stuff. I thought was hilarious.
Teching, dude. What happens to that lion, man? He looks so huge and ferocious right now.
Oh yeah, he's around Richie. Richie's awesome.
I know, but like he looks so huge and ferocious, and honestly, you get to see how strong Luffy really is with that fucking like I don't know, that attack he did against him. It was sick.
I think it's the pinwheel where he spins him around. I think Richie changes size because in the anime they make him seem like building sized when he's really just like the size of a regular lion. So that might just be a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's that big the later times we see him.
They had to correct it probably, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
One of my favorite funny moments from Orange Town was when Buggy's crew figures out that Luffy has devil fruit powers, so they're all just pretending to be like dead. They're like, no, lay on the ground. Don't move. He has devil fruit powers. We don't want to mess with him.
Yeah, it's good.
I thought that was funny. They were all so terrified.
Yeah, Buggy and his crew kind of like fit each other well, I think, in terms of the whole goofiness.
I also love in the live action with Richie, they're like, where is the talking lion? And it's like, we couldn't get a talking lion. It's like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's a little bit out of our budget, guys.
Yeah, we can't get the talking lion, sorry.
I thought it was like that was funny because I feel like at that point Buggy's crew has only really seen Buggy have the devil fruit powers, right? Yeah. So seeing another person who has devil fruit powers that is not like Buggy's, they have no idea how strong he is. They don't know his full capabilities. So I can imagine them being like so horrified. Like, we know how strong Buggy is. How strong is this dude?
Yeah.
We don't want to mess with him.
I sometimes forget that at this point in the story, and even for like a little bit since you've watched the live action, you don't really get to see many devil fruit users.
Not in the East, and I like that because it's established early on that like these are like mythical and these are rare and these are like not like they're more legends in these parts of the world, you know.
True.
Yep.
Anyway, I think that's a good place to wrap up. Me and Tekken do Yu-Gi-Oh on Tuesday, so you're always invited back, or you can come back for Orange Town in 6 years.
Yeah, we can come back again. Yeah.
I will also say that again, I'm frustrated that Luffy wears freaking flip-flops.
I don't know why you're upset about the flip-flops. He just likes flip-flops.
He's in these dangerous fights. He could get some boots or something, but he's wearing freaking flip-flops.
Luffy has to be free. He has to be free as possible. Luffy doesn't even wear any underwear. He's just...
You know what?
Does he not?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I can't imagine he would.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't.
Probably doesn't.
Clearly, Animac does not understand that the open toes breathing is a symbolism of freedom, something Luffy really enjoys.
Yeah, but even in the live action, have to change it, bro.
It is legitimately practical for his devil fruit ability too. Like if he wanted to like stretch his toes out for some reason, like he could do that. Yeah.
Dude.
Yes. I didn't think of that. Damn you.
There you go.
Damn you, Tekken. You've thought of this.
You've thought of everything. Yeah.
I think the fact that the toes are free for so many characters is the reason why One Piece is still ongoing and all the other anime have crumbled.
We don't know the reason why it keeps going, but we just it's working, so just keep it going.
How is it working? It's the feet.
It's working. That's all that matters.
Anyway.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks
so much
for having me on, Briggs.
Yeah, pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Poseidon, it's been great going through this with you. I'm excited for Baratier.
Yeah, I'm actually, now that you guys are hyping up this next arc, now I'm like, oh my god, now I have to watch it. Like,
get ready. Get ready for the new character. It's going to be fun.
No.
Yeah.
She's going to love the aquatic theme of the...
I will.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah, there's a few arcs. Like, well, in a manga about pirates in the ocean, there's quite a few aquatic themed arcs, actually.
I will say though, my One Piece journey. For you guys who don't know, I'm mainly a TCG streamer. Like I do a lot of TCG content, so I have kind of started like side eyeing and looking at the One Piece TCG.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have friends that are like super into it, so now I'm just kind of like, can you guys teach me how to play now?
It's really easy. It's a fun game. Yeah.
I love the art. Like,
dude,
that's
you're gonna
the
get
biggest
spoiled
The art
by
is
some of the
beautiful.
cards.
Yeah,
He's gonna get
that's what I
spoiled by
mean,
some of the
like,
cards. Fuck.
I mean, you're gonna definitely get spoiled by characters. 'cause
Who
there's so
cares?
many.
Whatever. But there's a couple
Yeah.
cards that are bad, man. Like they have full on
Like
like
the
spoilers.
Yeah, there is cards that have like literal manga panels of stuff like.
Oh.
Yeah, like that is what it is. Yeah.
Of a character like getting
no.
wrecked.
Yeah.
Now I can't play now until I finish all 1100
Well, there's your
episodes.
incentive. There's another incentive. That's how they get you.
Ow.
You want to play this card game and not be spoiled? Well, watch the show. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
It was nice meeting you, Poseidon.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you too. It was a lot of fun. I've only done like, this is my 3rd podcast with Rant Cafe.
Yes.
And it's always really fun talking with you guys, just like about anything. I'm really excited to continue. One
Always
Piece,
happy to
actually.
talk about One Piece and have people that are getting into
Yeah.
One Piece. Yep.
Hell yeah. Animac, always a pleasure, my friend, for Anime Uproar.
Yes, thank you, Briggs. Thank you, Briggs. It's from, but it's all right. It's
And
all right. Thank you guys, and looking forward to the next episode.
do the outro, Animac.
Oh no, I have to do the outro. Now I have to do it, Briggs.
I don't remember.
Poseidon's gonna be streaming soon, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'll be streaming like the next hour.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you tweeted something about punishing you.
Yeah, I'm doing a Pokemon TCG punishment stream. So for
Oh,
every
no.
game I lose, I get punished, and then in order for me to revert the punishment, I have to win 2 games in a row.
Okay, so
All
that'll
right,
be
well, good luck
fun.
to you.
Check that out. Poseidon Mythos on Twitch, right?
Yeah, on Twitch.
And check how to spell Poseidon because it's not easy to spell.
Poseidon
Oh,
is it's one of those old-fashioned Greek words, you know.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
misspell my name all the time. They'll be like SIE and then DON.
No, fool.
And I'm like, no, that's not how you spell it.
Yeah, Google it first. But yeah, thank you, Teching, Briggs, Poseidon, and until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.
Bang.
Later.